women. This video was inspired by me. I should make my own list of sci-fi books written by women. Oh my god, I should actually. But like underrated ones, not like the obvious ones. First book, Dawn, obviously. Just prepare yourself to see that book in that list. I'm warning you now. Before we begin, this is my taste in science fiction so that you know what types of books you're going to get recommended. For example, I am unlikely to recommend to you a book about time travel or military science fiction. Anyway, let's start. Let's get the book out of the way. Dawn by Octavia E. Butler. Dawn is my favorite book, and I will use any and every excuse to recommend it. I don't care if it's underrated or not. It is now. It is today. The best reading experience I think for this book is to just go in without knowing what's going on. That's the reading experience I had like 10ish years ago when I read this. All you need to know is that this is about a woman who wakes up in finds herself in just a weird situation. That's the best way to experience it. If you need a little bit more information, there are aliens in this, and the world has ended, and our leading lady Lilith, she may or may not be the last person like alive. This does not shy away from exploring uncomfortable things. This is an Octavia E. Butler book after all, but this is not as grotesque and like gratuitous, I think, as some of her other books. Octavia, she was a freak, low key. She's kind of a freak. Anyway, rest in peace. But like, then we have Lagoon by Nnedi Okorafor. This is like your classic fast-paced, invasion story set in Nigeria. And I think we have 3 main characters, if I remember correctly. With Nnedi Okorafor, like, you'll jive with her writing if you recognize and appreciate and like and enjoy like superhero stories. That's kind of her style. I think she even writes comics. So but that's just kind of her style. It's just that it's fun, goes interesting places as well. The invasion, the aliens are interesting. If that's not your style, if you're like, I don't want a fast-paced invasion story, then check out Binti. People like Binti, but like that's the one that everyone reads. So Lagoon is fun. I like Lagoon. I like a good invasion story, man. I also liked Axiom's End. Why did I not put Axiom's End here? I think because it's not underrated. I think everyone's read that book. But anyway, whatever. Number 3, Natural History by Justina Robson. This is some real underrated shit. Now we're in the real deep cuts. You don't know about this book. Let me tell you. This is a hard science fiction book, amongst other things. But the thing that I love about this, the thing that is like my jam, just my thing, is xenoarchaeology. I just love a big thing in space, unexplained alien artifact in space, and then we have to go and figure out, oh, what is this? Who made this? I love that. There's a lot of that, but there are also so many other sci-fi ideas in this. There's some gross body horror stuff, because I think the ships are like people. The ships are made out of people. Like, it's just main character is a black woman. Love that. All of the main characters are black women, but whatever. The artifacts themselves, the thing that we have to uncover, so interesting. Love it. Even the other sci-fi ideas, even though they were like grossing me out in like a cosmic body horror type of way, I did enjoy them. There's some other techno-babbly stuff in there as well. If you're into that, I like this book. I don't know if I'm selling it, but this is a fun book. Like, this is genuinely so good. I love this book. The start is, you do have to get through the start a little bit, because we don't start off with our main character. We start off with some other things. But if you like science fiction, then you'll love this. You'll love all of this. Then there's The Best of All Possible Worlds by Karen Lord. I don't know if this one is underrated also, but I'm just gonna put it here because I love this book. This is for you if you like character-driven books, because the ones I've listed so far, those are plot books. We're gonna go and do this thing. Those are plot and ideas book. This is a very character-driven book. We follow one character, and she is basically doing ethnographic studies of the aliens of this world because something terrible has happened. There's a romance in this. This is a science fiction romance. It's cute, I guess. Other people will find it cute. I have my own hiccups about first-person romances, but you'll likely find it cute. So basically, it's us following our main character from society to society. They were interesting. The societies themselves were very interesting. I enjoyed. That was my favorite part of the book. There are some like fantasy elements in this as well. What is it called? Psionic things. If I had known that, because I'm not like into like the psychic stuff and woo and all, you know. So if I had known that going into this book that there was gonna be like psychic things, telepathy or whatever, I don't know. I would not have read it. But I'm glad I didn't know because this is one of my favorite books. One thing about Karen Lord's writing is she does not hold your hand. Like something will happen and she'll explain it eventually, but sometimes she doesn't explain it, and sometimes you will never know. And that's fine. But I do love it. It's not incomprehensible, but sometimes you just won't know. Like I still have questions about this book. My main question is, why was the sister angry at her for the thing that happened? If you've read this book, please let me know. If you do read this on my recommendation, come back and tell me, why was the sister angry at her for the thing? I don't get it. Anyway. Then Always Coming Home by another legend, Ursula Le Guin. I could recommend literally any ULG books, and I think the most common ones that people recommend are The Lathe of Heaven, The Left Hand of Darkness. But anyway, this one I love because it's just classic storytelling. You have all of the ULG themes: collectivism, women's rights, the environment, etc. You know, classic ULG themes. This is a book that you jump in and out of. In the version that I read, there's an introduction by John Scalzi, and he says the same thing that I said. Like you pop in and out. There's like the main story, which I think is chopped up into 3, and you kind of just read that, and then you can just pop in and out and like look at the maps and the poems. You know, there's like a bigger narrative frame that I don't understand. I just don't get it. I don't understand what the deal is with Pandora. I don't know really what's going, like I don't know what is going on. I don't get it, but I still enjoyed it because the main storyline is just a good story. What this is a coming of age story set in future California, question mark. I don't like, when we get into the specifics of US geography, sorry. I feel like I already know way too much about US geography. Everything I know about US geography, I know against my will, but even then, like I don't know. But this is not the type of future that you think of when you think of science fiction. Definitely a book you borrow from the library though, you know? Then we have, back to our fast-paced, plot-focused books, The Salvation Gambit by Emily, what is your surname, girl? Skrutskie. Emily Skrutskie. Is that Scandinavian or like Eastern European? What's going on? What is that surname? This is for people who enjoy like a heist stories. There isn't a heist in this, but it just feels like a heist story. This is about a criminal girl gang. We have criminal girl gang con artists, and they get caught. They get caught doing a con and are punished for this crime by being thrown into the mouth of a ship called Justice. And Justice, this ship goes around the galaxy that we have populated. This is in the future, collecting all of the sinners. So, our girls, they want to get out of here, obviously, because like what? Justice is impossible to escape from. It's also got a little bit of romance in here as well. Little something for the girls. Then we have Remnant Population by Elizabeth Moon. Again, I don't know if this one is underrated, but I'm putting it here. Listen. Okay, you want older women in your science fiction? Here you are. This is one of my favorite books of all time, and most of that, the story is good, but also because I've never in my entire life related to a main character more than I relate to the main character in this book. Our main character, she's like an older woman, 70s, 80s, I don't know, around there. And the only thing she wants is to be left alone, is to have this planet to herself. That's all she wants. I was reading this like, oh my god, same. Oh my god, same. Anyway, she's on a failed colony and they're now abandoning it, and she's like, oh, now's my chance. Now's my chance. I'm gonna live out my days on this planet. Some fun, interesting things happen, of course, but I just loved it. The bits at the beginning when she was like truly on her own on the planet, oh my god. Oh, I was jealous. Loved it. This book was great. I read this book after a Peter F. Hamilton Commonwealth saga put me in a reading slump. This was like years ago, and this made me love reading again. Then this one is character and plot, and it's a murder mystery. This Dead Silence by Cully Wallace. Dead Silence? It's just a murder mystery. It's a murder mystery set in space in the future. Pretty good as far as the murder mystery goes, and also just like the world itself. was pretty interesting. The main character, she was an interesting character to follow. Then another one that I would say is also character and plot is, but mostly plot, is Medusa, uploaded by Emily Devenport. We have robots. We had robots in Dead Silence too. Did I mention the robots? I didn't. Dead Silence? We have robots, okay? Read this if you like robots, if you like revolutions, if you like competent but not infallible characters, if you like arts and culture, specifically Japanese and European, if you like a frenetic fast pace that is anxiety inducing, if you like weird worlds, like just weird things happening. This is the book for you. I love this. One of my favorite books I read this year. Then finally, And Shall Machines Surrender by Benjanun Sriduangkaew. I know cyberpunk is one of the things I said I don't like in my little table at the beginning. I don't like cyberpunk, but I did like this. This one is cyberpunk, but not aesthetically. Cyberpunk thematically, but not aesthetically. I think cyberpunk tries too hard to be cool, comes across as cheesy instead. This didn't. This is an interesting mystery, a murder mystery. This is an, oh my god, mosquitoes. This is an interesting mystery set in a future world that is unstable politically, very unstable politically. This is set on like a colony in space, but like not on a planet. What is it called? A habitat? Our main characters are of Chinese and Thai descent. They're very morally dark gray, like very dark gray. And I love it. Lots of fun little interesting ideas. The mystery was fun also. I enjoyed the world quite a bit and the story. And it's also like very women centric, which I liked, to the point where I forgot. Like a man is mentioned at some point. I was like, oh yeah, men do exist. There were some scenes in this that made me laugh out loud unintentionally. Give me your recommendations, please. Any books, any sci-fi books you've read recently that were written by women, give them to me, or else.